Let's talk about the Philippine A Century Hence. Ang The Philippine A Century Hence ni Jose Rizal ay isang sanaysay na naglalaman ng kanyang mga obserbasyon at prediksyon tungkol sa hinaharap ng Pilipinas. Ipinapahayag niya ang kanyang mga pangarap para sa bansa at nagbigay ng kritisismo sa mga suliraning kinakaharap nito noong panahon ng kolonyalismo. Binabanggit din niya ang posibleng impluwensya ng mga layuhan at kahalagahan ng pambansang kasarilan at ekonomikong pag-unlad. Ang layunin ni Rizal ay magbigay inspirasyon at magmulat ng kamalayan sa mga mamamayan ng Pilipinas tungkol sa mga issue na may kinalaman sa kanilang kalayaan at kinabukasan. So, this essay published in La Solidaridad in Madrid between running through the issue from September 1889 to January 1890. It starts by analyzing the various causes of the miseries suffered by the Filipino people. So the first one is Spain's implementation of their military policies. Ang tinutukoy lang ni Rizal dito, ang problemang dulot ng militarismo ng mga Espanya sa Pilipinas. Ipinupunto niya rito ang labis na karahasan at hindi pagkakapantay-pantay sa lipunan. Dahil dito, binabanggit din niya ang kawalan ng at katiyakan at maayos na implementasyon ng militar na maaaring magresulta sa pang-aabuso sa karapatan ng mga Pilipino. So, the second virus and the next is deterioration and disappearance of Filipino indigenous culture. So, the arrival of Spain, marked by a combination of military force and religious influence, initiated the gradual erosion of the indigenous Filipino culture. This led Filipino to lose faith in their history and heritage, casting doubt on their current way of life and eventually diminishing hope for the future and the preservation of their identity. So the third and last values is passivity and submissiveness to the Spanish colonizer. One of the strongest factors contributing to the cultural suppression of the indigenous people was the influence of the Spanish colonial power. Due to the use of force, Filipinos learned to yield the dominance of the foreign rulers. So, the Philippine A Century Hence, in simple terms, what Rizal wrote about in his essay happened in 1898. The Americans fought and won the Philippines from Spain, leading to a time of democracy and freedom. 50 years later, after Rizal's death, the Philippines got the democracy Rizal talked about in his essay. So this was fulfilled because of what Rizal had written in his essay. So there are also other possible topics, which is the first one is the letter to the women of Malolos, and the second one is the indolence of the Filipino people. So let's discuss that briefly. So the first is the letter to the women of Malolos. This was written by Dr. Jose Rizal, a prominent Filipino nationalist and intellectual in 1889. The letter was addressed to the 21 women of Malolos, a town in the Philippines who bravely advocated for the establishment of the school for women. These women, led by Josefa T. Reyes, petitioned the local parish priest Fray Wenceslao Retena to allow them to have formal education. So, in summary, in his letter, Rizal highlighted the virtues of education, asserting that educated women would contribute to the betterment of society and would be better mothers and citizens. He praised the women of Malolos for their courage and urged them to continue their pursuit of knowledge despite of the opposition they faced. So, the last one is the indolence of the Filipino people was the longest essay of Jose P. Rizal, published in La Solidaridad in July 15, 1890, to defend a Filipino against the accusation of Mr. Sanciano that the Filipino are indolent. This is due to the observation of Sanciano to a Filipino farmer who was having a siesta at 9 o'clock in the morning because he was already done in his work. So in the summary of this essay is the indolence of the Filipino people by Jose Rizal discusses the perceived laziness of Filipinos during the Spanish colonial period. Rizal attributes this indolence of oppressive colonial policies, lack of education and economic opportunities, and stereotypes perpetrated by the colonial administration. He calls for social and economic reforms to address these issues and improve the condition of the Filipino people. And that's all for the two other possible topics, and that's all. Thank you.